Hello, BookTube. I've got some mail for you. Some more mail on a very cloudy day here in Boston. There was the slight possibility that the sun might creep out at some point today, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Looks like it's going to be cloudy for a day or two and then rain before we get back to normal in the doorstep of December in Boston, which is 60 degrees Fahrenheit and unbroken sunlight. But we've got some mail, and we can just remember food for thought. We can remember not to be provoked. We don't want to be provoked. Encounter something insane, we'll just say food for thought and move on. But mail hauls are always fun. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, good. The New York Review of Books, folks. Oh, it's nice that they remember me. For the longest time, I couldn't get the time of day from them. All right, well, I don't need... God help us, I don't need... Your mother's recipe for bouillabaisse. But let's see, what is this? So what date are you? February. This is Godlike by Richard Hell. So what have we got here? The East Village, circa 1972. Paul Vaughan, a well-known but restless poet, whiles away his days attending readings at Raw's Drink among the drunk and derelict. One day he receives a letter from Randall Terrace Woad, or T., 16 years old, who is exactly no one, except that he is a poet. He knows that Paul will understand. Paul tells him to come to New York and give him a call. Soon they've passed from wandering the village to spending the night in Paul's apartment on Morton Street. Then a squalid hotel, then a cheap apartment Paul obtains for his new object of obsession. They talk about art and sex. They dream of poetry and the disabuse of literature. Paul is in love with T, but T is just curious, purely trying to fill himself with life. This is Richard Hell's careening, tempestuous novel that transposes the infamous affair between Paul Verlaine and Arthur Rimbaud to the muck and mayhem of the 70s New York. Reworked from the contents of Paul's 1997 hospital notebooks, this book combines diaristic ruminations with fragmentary essays and scraps of poems by Paul and T., but also by Ted Berrigan, James Schuyler, Frank O'Hara, and René Richard, among others. It's both a reckoning with the scars of love and a heightened recollection of a bygone era. It was first published in 2005. There was no acknowledgement of the book that the template for the plot was Rimbaud and Verlaine. The author preferred that any readers find what they will at their own pace. But it's too late now. An odd thing to say. Okay, so this comes out in February. And they're giving this book another lease on life. Godlike. How interesting. Okay. All right, that's a February release. Then we'll deal with this next one. No need for food for thought there. Just very nice. All right, let's move on to this next one here. Yeah. Okay. All right, I love the cover. Obviously, I love the cover. Let's get all this excess stuff out of the way here. This comes out in mid-January. This is by Sarah Levine, and it is called The Hitch. Look at that for a cover. Let's see here. This is a delightfully unhinged comedy following a woman as she attempts to exorcise the spirit of a dead corgi from her nephew and renegotiate the borders of her previously rational world. Rose Cutler defines herself by her exacting standards. As an anti-racist, Jewish, secular feminist eco-warrior, she's convinced she knows the right way to do everything, including parent her 6-year-old nephew, Nathan. When Rose offers to look after him while his parents visit Mexico for a week, her brother and sister-in-law reluctantly agree, provided she understands the rules: routine, bedtime, homework, and does not overstep. Good luck. The description of this character means I am going to overstep with my nephew and everyone else. But when Rose's Newfoundland attacks and kills a corgi at the park, Nathan starts acting strangely, barking, overeating, talking to himself. Rose mistakes this behavior as repressed grief over the corgi's death, but Nathan insists he isn't grieving and the dog isn't dead. Her soul leaped into his body, and now she's living inside him. Now Rose must banish the corgi from her nephew before the week ends and her parents return to collect the child. Okay, that does sound really good. That does sound really good. I'm not going to be reading this because this is next year. I won't be reading it in 2025, but that does sound really interesting. So The Hitch, the ghost of a dead corgi. I love it. Okay. All right, let's move on. One way that you'll know for sure if little Nathan is inhabited by the ghost of a dead corgi is that he will stop obeying any instructions whatsoever. Let's see what this next one is. Oh, some sort of atmospheric murder mystery from the folks at Minotaur Books. Yes. Okay, all right. Well, you've given me the Cramner hymn book here. I don't need all of this stuff. Not at all. Where does this end? Page after page after page. Where does it end? I just need you. That's all. I don't need anything else. So what? I'll put you aside. I just need the one page for this thing. All right. So this is November. This is out already. This came out on Tuesday. This is by Julia Spencer Fleming, and it's called At Midnight Comes the Cry. Let's see here. As December days shorten and night grows long, a disparate group of would-be heroes need to unwind a murderous plot before time runs out in this new novel. And I am thickly engaged in Deadly December. I am reading murder mysteries a lot. Soon it will be to the exclusion of almost all else. So this is just in time. I'll read this tonight. It's Christmas time in Miller's Kill, and Reverend Claire Ferguson and her husband Russ Van Alstyne, newly resigned from his position as chief of police, plan to enjoy it with their baby boy. On their list, visiting Santa, decorating the tree, and attending the church Christmas pageant. But when a beloved holiday parade is crashed by white supremacists, Claire and Russ find themselves sucked into a parallel world of militias, machinations, and murder. Meanwhile, single mom and Officer Hadley Knox has her hands full juggling her kids and her police work. She doesn't want to worry about her former partner and sometimes lover, Kevin Flynn, but when he takes leave from Syracuse PD and disappears, she can't help her growing panic that something has gone very wrong. Novice lawyer Joy Zhao is keeping secrets from her superior at the state attorney general's office. She knows they wouldn't condone her off-the-books investigation, but she's convinced a threatening alt-right conspiracy is brewing, and catching the perpetrators could jumpstart her career. And NYS Forest Ranger Paul Terrence, that's an awful crowded cast, and all of them virtue signaling, is looking for his uncle, a veteran of the Park Service gone inexplicably missing. He doesn't think much of an ex-cop and out-of-town officer showing up in his patch of woods, but he's heard the disturbing rumors of dangerous men in the mountains. As Christmas approaches, these 5 people will discover their suspicions hang on a single twisting thread, leading to forbidden high peaks of the Adirondacks. Okay. Well, I don't like all of the political hot buttons here. I'm supposed to dislike the murderer. I'm not supposed to be submitting to the author taking a morals temperature test, but I love the idea of a group of disparate people coming together to face a mystery or an oncoming threat. That is wonderful. This I will dive into this tonight. Absolutely, I'll put this on the pile for tonight. And it'd be interesting to see, because the absolute de rigueur thing that you have to do in a murder mystery like the one that we just described is end up with all the things connected. And I don't know how that's going to happen. So that'll be interesting to see on its own right. All right, so let's finish up with here. We haven't done a bad job at all here. Not bad at all. Haven't needed food for thought in the slightest. All right. Boy, we do have a lot of paperwork with all of these things, though. Let's just get rid of that and just deal with the one page that we need. This feels like an advanced copy, so this is probably next year. Yeah, this is April. So this is Noah Scheiber, and it is called Mutiny, The Rise and Revolt of the College-Educated Working Class. And our author is young, so I can't, his picture's too small to make him out, but he is young. He is probably not far off from, let's see here. So this will come out in early April in hardcover. And in this book, the author, who has covered workplace issues for more than a decade, sheds a light on why recent college graduates have been struggling to find good-paying jobs and how the experience has radicalized them. This book tells 2 fascinating overlapping stories. First, the book shows how the weakening job market for young graduates was set in motion by a shift in the value of college degrees that began 20 years ago. At the same time, the author delivers a page-turning, character-driven narrative depicting the many ways these disillusioned college students have been standing up to their employers and fighting for a better deal. Okay. The author's narrative spans across a range of workplaces, including Apple stores, Starbucks cafes, video game studios, and Hollywood writer rooms. He introduces us to a cast of compelling characters who took on their employers, and he expertly braids these strands together. The result is both an incisive, idea-driven book that helps make sense of one of the most consequential yet misunderstood trends of the past several decades in American life, and also a gripping, intimate, and deeply reported work of narrative journalism. Okay. All right, that sounds fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Won't be getting to it. It's next year, but that sounds fascinating and certainly hot button. When I was reading that description, I was thinking of a dozen people, young people that I know. So there you go. We got through the mail just fine. I don't know what I was worried about. We have a few 2026 releases. We've got Mutiny by Noah Schreiber. We've got a release that's already out. This is At Midnight Comes the Cry, a murder mystery in the rural Adirondacks. We have The Hitch by Sarah Levine, a boy possessed by the spirit of a dead corgi. And finally, a reprint from the folks at New York Review of Books Classics, Godlike. So, not a bad little mail haul. A little bit heavy on the fiction for yours truly, but I'll take it, definitely. The price was right. So I'll wrap this up for now, and we will move blithely on to the next mail haul, completely emboldened by all the success. So I'll see you then. Thank you, BookTube.